And I publicly want to tell you how much I love you and appreciate you, sweetheart. All right, let's get real for a minute, shall we? You know, I pinch myself when I find myself in these moments where I get to speak into people's lives, because I always ask, as probably some that have already been up here, they ask as well, how did it happen? Because I shouldn't be up here. You see, what you don't know is my first exposure to this amazing industry was at the young age of 21. To succeed at that age is very difficult. We have some young folk here. Yeah, it's kind of a challenge. But I want to tell you a little bit of my story. I got to go real quickly because the clock is running. And I have a lot I wanted to share with you today. My first exposure was with a friend who said, Mark, well, actually it was an incredible amount of information. It was just a fire hose of information, and I really wasn't interested in anything he had to say. See, there was two things going on in my life. At that time, I was in school full-time, and I was working as a bellboy for the Marriott Hotel in Salt Lake City, Utah. So my day, we talk about having no time, my day was 7 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon to 3:30 on a swing shift to midnight. That was every day, 7 to midnight, almost every day. I had no time to even look at a business like this. And so that first exposure was just a lot of information that didn't mean anything to me, and I immediately said no. A couple days later, called me up again and said, you need to take a look at this. I said no again. Folks, this is where my story begins. My greatest blessing in life is a concept I call polite persistence. They didn't give up on me. My message to you is, don't give up on people. Third time, called. You can imagine my shock and awe. And it was real quick. Mark, I owe you an apology. I've gone about this all the wrong way. All I know is you're an amazing, talented person. He kind of put me at ease with a couple compliments. And it's amazing what happens when you give somebody a compliment. You're an amazing, talented person. You're probably successful in anything, Mark, but for the life of me, I can't understand why you won't look at this. He says, do me a favor as a friend. You have my permission to say no, but take a look before you make that decision. Let it be an informed decision. He kind of had me. All right, what do you want me to do? He said, I want you to come to a meeting. I said, so he sets up the time for next week. And this is where the real magic bullet is. He said, I'll pick you up. Sure enough, came around, he picked me up. Now the hindsight of that is I often wonder, 29 years later, I wonder where I'd be today had he not picked me up. Because I really, really doubt I would have showed up. Think about that for a minute. Think about that for just 1 minute. How many times you had the opportunity to pick up somebody to bring them to an event that had the potential to change their life, and yet you didn't pick them up? Well, I went to this event. There was a really sharp presenter in front of the room. And I don't know what happened, but I think God had a purpose for me because he put me in the perfect meeting for me. And I listened to that message. I learned the concept of two types of income. Exchanging units of time for units of dollars. Kind of hard to get ahead in life that way. Can't create wealth. And I learned this new concept called residual or passive income. The idea that you can make money while you sleep. And he gave an example. Something happened. I started to really get excited. And then I heard the magic button. Everyone's got kind of that little hot button. And he talked about time freedom. And boy, I'll tell you, it didn't seem like there was any. It seemed like, I don't know how many people were in the room that day, but it just seemed like he was talking to me. I left that meeting confused. But I was asking myself the question, what if? I went home and couldn't sleep for a day. Found myself thinking, wondering, what if? I called up my friend and said, I want to meet the guy who did that presentation. And I sat down, asked him a lot of questions. And he answered, as we completed this little session, he turned to me and he said, Mark, what are you doing so great in your life right now that you can't take a chance on your future to do a business like this that has the potential to change your life forever? Mark, what if it works? What if? That was back when I was 21 years old, folks. I was a bellboy, I was a student, but I was a dreamer. And I'm like, I'm not doing anything that great. He goes, well, can you afford to take advantage of it? I said, I think so. Popped out a number of $1,400, about scared the heck out of me. $1,400? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. And then he said, successful people always find a way. You're a successful type person, right, Mark? I don't know how I found a way, but I did. $1,400 for a young 21-year-old is a lot of money. And, but I kind of learned there was a good, better, best way to get in, and that was the best way to get in. So I jumped all in, and I was now in my very first direct sales company, 29 years ago. During that journey, I met an amazing individual. His name is Dallin Larson. I had two amazing people that God put in my life to speak into my life that made such a difference. Dallin, thank you. You heard it last week from that other gentleman. I'm going to tell you thank you. We've been running together, Dallin and I, for a long time. 29 years. Are you sick of me yet? We've had our ups and downs, but the one thing I will tell you about Dallin is he always chooses to do the right thing. He's always going to put you first, always. I probably know him better than anybody. And when he says he's going to put you in a place to win, he's going to do it. And I am honored, Dallin, to be on this journey with you one more time. And as Dallin says, he's going to be here till his last dying breath. I repeated that same segment. I said, Dallin, you're stuck with me until my last dying breath. We're here together. We're going to finish what we start. And we're going to do something special here, guys. Moving forward, I made that decision. I had to figure the business out. I wasn't having a lot of success in the beginning. At the beginning, it's kind of hard. It's really hard. And I had a lot of objection. At 21, it's like you have no credibility. People don't really think you have any value to add in their lives. But I started, I just plugged in. And then something happened that kind of shaped, kind of shook me to the core. I was so excited to share this amazing business concept with my father. My father is a really hard worker. Come from a large family of 10. My dad was a plumber. He was not there very often because he was out trying to do everything he could to put food on the table for his 10 children. But he's a blue-collar worker and never really felt there was an easier way. You've got to kind of get down and get dirty. That's how you have to make a living. So when I was so excited to share this with my dad, it didn't, the message wasn't received as I was hoping it would, and I was met with fierce rejection from my father. Son, what a disappointment. I ought to raise you better than this. You've had to stoop to this level to do a business like this, really, son? That was one of the hardest days of my life because I was so excited about the possibility. I left that encounter confused, tears coming down my cheek as I drove away. My dad planted a seed of doubt. When I left that moment, I left going home, and I found myself talking myself out of the business. Maybe it's not for me. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe Dad's right. I had enough respect for the person who was spending so much time trying to teach me how to do this business that I felt like I owed it to him to at least, if I was going to quit, I was going to do it with dignity, and I was at least going to call him and say, I can't do this anymore. Folks, the power of a mentor, the power of a coach, the power of someone speaking into your life. I called up this individual, and I said, look, I can't do this anymore. I just can't do it. And as fast as I can say, oh, no, you don't get to quit. Quit, you're better than that, Mark. You don't get to quit. You're going to get better. I'm not letting you quit. That's what he said. I said, but no, you don't get it. And I shared with him the story of my father. And he says, oh, kind of changed the tune a little bit. He said, Mark, I'm sure your dad is an amazing man and he means well, but let me ask you a question. Does your dad have what you want out of life? I said, what do you mean? He goes, does he live in the community you want to live in? Does he have the kind of house that you want to live in? Does he drive the kind of car you want to live in? He says, Mark, remember when we had our little first interview? You wanted time freedom. Does your dad have time freedom? The kind of time freedom that you want? And the answer was no, each and every time. And he said, Mark, let me tell you something. Success leaves clues. He said, if your dad doesn't have what you want out of life, maybe you got to find somebody that has what you want out of life and follow them. Mm-hmm. And it was an aha moment. It was a life-changing moment. And I left there more fired up, more committed to my future, to my dreams, than at any time before. I had somebody that spoke in my life that taught me something pretty amazing. Find someone that has what you want, that you respect, and follow them. That's what I did for the last 29 years. I've been chasing those that are so much better than me. And I have learned and I have never stopped seeking knowledge. I've had some amazing people speak into my life. And once again, I want to acknowledge Dallin. Dallin has been there for me for 29 years. And I cannot think of a better person to be running with going into 2017 as we embark on launching this amazing company. I'm telling you guys, if you're here and you can hear my voice, we're all pretty lucky. We are in a very unique situation where we get to go take this company around the world and we're going to bless a lot of lives. We're going to do it the right way. You have to understand, the leadership here, headed by Dale, they know what they're doing. And they're going to do it the right way. It's going to be compliant. It's going to be the thing I'm most proud of. I see these amazing numbers. I can't even see to the end of the crowd. And I've seen the growth. You've heard the numbers. You've heard the excitement. What I'm most proud about is we've done it the right way. We've done it organically. There has never been one person paid to come here. Nobody. And what's going to happen is you're going to continue to see us grow organically, but bring in some of the most amazing leaders you've ever seen. And that's what's going to happen. We're going to build a legacy company here. We are building a legacy company here. And you guys, do you get it? You guys are here. Do you get that? So this is something that you guys, I'm going to wrap up with this. You guys will never get this time back. The next year is critical. It is critical for every one of your businesses. You will never, ever get this time back. So seize the moment. Go out and bless as many lives as you can possibly bless. Thank you.